everybody, welcome to episode 124 of the Toys for Games podcast. We are recording this on a Thursday night, September 21st, 2017. I am one of your hosts, Josh Brown. I am not joined by my regular co-host, Jason Greer. He is out being busy, enjoying fair food and activities and pumpkin judging and, whatever you do at fairs, I guess. I don't know. For me, it doesn't seem like it's the time of year for a fair. It's more summertime activities, but whatever. They do weird things in rural Pennsylvania. We'll have to leave it at that. So tonight, I am joined by two other amazing, wonderful people to help me do this show. And it's going to be a very special episode. It's not your normal Toys for Games podcast. We're doing a little cross-promotion, a little spin-off action. Basically, we're talking Pokemon. And, of course, I had to bring on the two most knowledgeable Pokemon people I know. None other than Ken Pescatori and Adam Tuttle from Got 'em Watch 'em All podcast. What's up, guys?
Yo! What is going on, man?
Woohoo! Not too much.
Oh,
Playing Pokemon.
Good, you better be playing Pokemon. That's what the people came to listen to, is you guys talk about playing Pokemon.
All day, every day.
All day, every day.
It's a pleasure to have you both on this podcast. Ken, we've had you on before. Adam, this is officially your first time on this podcast.
Yeah, long-time listener. First time on the podcast.
First time co-host.
It's awesome.
For long-time listeners of the Toys for Games podcast, we need to go back a little bit in time to, I believe the year was 2016, PAX East, Boston, Massachusetts, where we had the pleasure of meeting up with our good friend Adam Tuttle. You guys may remember the story of the guy who gave us a gift card to a wonderful burrito joint in Boston. I still think about those burritos, Adam.
I do too.
Yeah.
And I miss working there. It's just a lot of fun, great food.
Great food. Okay, let's be real. The burritos were good. I'm not going to lie. However, and Ken, you'll appreciate this, the Nutella milkshake was unlike anything my taste buds have ever experienced before.
From what you've described, this Nutella milkshake was like the stuff of legend.
Yeah. I don't know why they don't start with that. Like, hey, we have Nutella milkshakes and also really good burritos. Like they hid those Nutella milkshakes on that menu pretty deep. Like you had to explore to find those things.
That's for locals only.
No, it is hidden in there a little ways.
Yeah. So that's how, we know Adam. We've known Adam for pretty much as long as we've been doing the show. And Adam teamed up with Ken, of course, the guy that's always in charge of doing fun things over at the Facebook page and whatnot. And you guys have been doing the Gotta Watch 'em All podcast. It's a Pokemon podcast. It's describe the podcast for those listeners out there that may not be familiar with it.
Awesome. So the original mission statement kind of what the podcast was we were going to retell and go back and watch through the original anime from 1998 and kind of chronicle the episodes one by one, starting with episode 1. There's a bottomless pit of episodes to watch. Like we'd probably be, really, really old and gray by the time we get through every episode if we did one episode per week, because there's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of episodes. Sure. So it's a bottomless well. So
112 DVDs worth, right?
Dude, did you see that set? It's absolutely insane. It's like for whatever reason, Pokemon is still in the Stone Age. They won't release stuff in mass digitally or on Blu-ray. It's like, come on, do I really need 112 discs? Like,
I thought that was a typo.
It's crazy. I can imagine, and like they haven't discussed price on that box set. So it's this giant seasons 1 through 19 box set, 112 disc set. Like I can only imagine how expensive this thing is going to be. But I don't know. I would have to keep it in the box. Like how do you even open and like manipulate that many? Like what do I want to watch? It's like, dude, give me 12 Blu-rays and we'll call it a day.
Give me disc number 58, please. 58.
Yeah. But on the podcast, so we run through the anime, we talk about each of the episodes, but on top of that, we touch on Pokemon in all its forms. So, of course, we're going to be focusing on Pokemon Go. Adam and I are both rabid Pokemon Go players, daily players. So we talk about Pokemon Go a lot, but then we also talk about the main series games and the TCG and TCGO, both, playing the card game physically and online. We talk about merchandise from Pokemon, just any form, even like the spin-off games, Magikarp Jump, Pokemon Shuffle, all that stuff we kind of wrap into the episode and go along with covering the anime. And then we just started a spin-off podcast called Lured Up, where we're going to be doing that about once a month, that we're just going to be focusing on Pokemon Go. And we're going to be bringing in guests from the Pokemon Go community to help us kind of break down from a very, very high-level technical point of view and talk about the mechanics of the game and core strategizing and things like that from a little bit more of a hardline core perspective than some of the other podcasts that cover Pokemon Go. Try to look at it from a more technical sense. But Ken,
you're doing it all wrong. There are no other Pokemon Go podcasts.
Yeah, okay,
right?
No, but it's really cool. The Pokemon Go podcast community is actually really amazing. There's a bunch of podcasts that all interact with each other, and they all have really great spirits, and they're all just complete characters, and they all goof off, and the dynamic that they have between podcasts and through social media is absolutely awesome. So we're really excited to be part of that now, because it's a good company to be in. There are a lot of really talented people out there in the podcasting Pokemon Go world.
So what is Pokemon Go? No, I'm kidding.
Well, it's this game where you get out in the real world
and just freaked out a little bit.
Pokemon. Wait, do I have to explain this again? No. Who doesn't know what it is?
At this point, I don't think anybody. Everybody has to have at least some inclination as to what it is, right?
Well, you know what the way I like to gauge it is, the facts of it are there's 65 million monthly active users still playing the game and 5 million daily active users playing the game. So the core player base is still ridiculous. It's still insane. One of the top performing apps in the iOS and Google Play Store. So the comments and questions of, oh man, are you still playing that game? That's quelled over the past couple of months, because about 6 months ago, there was a point where, the hype train from the initial launch had finally settled down, and it went from, the 720 million active players, all the way down to 65 million active players.
Sure.
And so you would get that a lot, like, oh, you still play that game? I thought that was just a fad. But the fact of the matter is, I think Pokemon Go is going to have some serious legs, and it's going to last a long time, and the game is just continuing to perform in the app stores, and I don't think it's going anywhere, man. And I've put more time and effort and energy and money into this game than probably any other game, I've ever played in my entire life. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
We have a lot to talk about. I do want to give a big shout out to our show sponsor, as always, Devin Lachinsky. You could find him over on his YouTube page, youtube.com/user/DLASCH. I think there's a number now that I'm thinking about it. Uh-oh, hold on. I didn't have my show notes open because we're flying loose and wild tonight here. Sorry, Devin. Hold on. This is the most unprofessional thing I've ever done in my entire life. 2. The number 2. DLASCH 2. And I told Devin today, we were chatting back and forth, that I was going to have you guys on, and we're going to have a big Pokemon episode, because he's a big Pokemon Go fan. Devin is super excited, and he was telling me, I'm going to read his message, because, that's what I do. He says, I don't know your experience yet, but I have met so many friends from Discord and from meeting them in person. We started going out for dinner after raiding, and he only just met them just a couple months ago, and they're already becoming super good friends. And then he has another raid going on tonight, and he showed me a screenshot of his special EX raid pass that he got. So
man,
this will be his second one.
Atari Alex got one too.
Yeah. So big shout out to Devin Lachinsky, who helps support the show and is a big fan of Pokemon Go. So hopefully we could do him right by this episode and have some fun with it, guys. So
yeah, awesome.
I want to start with Pokemon Go. Like Ken said, it's surprising like how many people are still playing this, but at the same time, it's not that surprising. Like, the game has really good hooks in it, and it gets people to keep playing in ways that I haven't seen a game, especially a mobile game. Let's say a mobile game for sure in a long time. It was big last year. It was huge. It was like that a giant hype machine behind it, and everybody was saying, it's going to die out. It'll be here one day, then it'll be gone the next. And everybody has to be honest here. The game has been up and down as far as performance and issues and bugs and whatnot. But even when it was at its most unstable points, I think people still stuck with it because it's kind of addicting. And I personally still play it. I still play it every day. You got to keep your streaks up, folks. If you're not keeping your streaks up, what are you even doing? Why are you even playing the game?
That's right. I know, right?
But yeah, like Ken kind of alluded, it does dig into your pockets a little bit and steal some money every now and then. And for me, it's probably the first mobile game I could think of where I was more than willing and happy to make microtransactions to improve my gaming experience with it. None of it's necessary. You can play the game for free forever. But it's a little bit more fun when you got some tokens to throw around in that store, in that shop, So
I have a very strong stance on this and the way the microtransactions work in the game. So I was a hardcore console gamer my entire life, right? Was never a PC gamer, never really even a handheld gamer, with the exception of the Pokemon games.
Right.
But I never really played a mobile game hardcore until Skylanders Lost Islands came out.
Okay.
And so when Lost Islands came out, I was a daily player, and over the life of that game, and I played it for years, I probably sunk about $200 into the game or something like that. And for me, that was a crazy amount of money, because that was the first time I ever engaged in that type of gaming dynamic, that relationship with a mobile game,
Right.
So I kind of started going through this paradigm shift of, I was so kind of programmed to pay $60 for a game at retail and come home and put in my 18 or 20 hours or 40 hours, or if it was a Skyrim, 100 hours, but it was always capped, something like that. So I could kind of put my dollar to hour ratio together. And then when I kind of did the math behind it, I go, look, I'm really enjoying this mobile game, and I'm putting hours and hours, and I'm playing every single day, and this game is following me and upgrading with my devices. It's coming along with me. And it really justified, spending money on the game. And with Pokemon Go, it's the same way. You can play the game completely for free. And I think Niantic does a fantastic job of not necessarily making it a pay-to-win kind of game. So you never really feel that you're in that kind of scenario, because they give you all the necessary means to earn currency in the game. And I've sunk a ton of money into this game, and it's so validated and it's so justified for me, because I love this game so much, and I've committed so much of my life and my time and all that to it, that I don't know. I'm glad to do that, and glad to show my support financially with the game, because with the scope of what the game is, it really needs the support of its fans to kind of step up when it is this free to play model. So I don't know, Adam. I don't know what how much you've dumped in, but
we don't talk numbers, so
yeah, we don't talk numbers.
No, wait a second. This is an unconventional episode of Toys for Games podcast. So
we need bank transaction receipts, Adam.
Dude, I probably put $800 to $1,000 into Pokemon Go.
You have not.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I believe it.
I drop $20 a week at least.
Wow.
Consistently since launch.
Wow.
So I buy lucky eggs and incubators and on the regular, and I'll do it with a smile. It's just
sometimes when I get the full lineup of eggs and I want to just have them all go at once, yes, I'll throw a couple bucks in to get that many incubators. But once you get a good group of people around and you have like, a solid time frame, I've got to get another raid pass. So I've got to put that extra 100 coins. You got to do it. So and then it's just easier to do, the $9.99, because then you get 12 raid passes versus the 10 that you would normally buy if you were buying them 1x1. So, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, I mean, you're losing money not doing it that way.
Exactly.
That's the mentality, man.
Yeah, that's what I say to myself every time, every transaction.
My wife Melissa's the exact opposite. If I buy her coins or something like that, it's a huge deal for her because she's played the whole game since launch without sinking a dollar of her own money. And if anything, I would just buy her coins here and there. But she's played, the same thing with my son. They play daily, they play every day, but they don't play it at the pace and with the fervor that I do, but they're still able to enjoy the game the same way. And that's what I think makes the game special is you can play it from a hardcore perspective, but still be casual.
Right.
So it puts the blend, between similar to something like a Candy Crush. You could play Candy Crush super casually every day. And then there's those players that are super hardcore about it that are playing the same game, or even Tsum Tsum. They play it to a whole nother level, but they're still playing the same game with the same mechanics. But it allows the player base to kind of be so diverse with their play styles, and I think that's what has led to this game being able to have the player base and the install base maintain a year and a half into launch. And I think it has gone up and down. There's been some crazy times for Pokemon Go. They've done a lot of things right and they've done a lot of things wrong and handled the things that they've done wrong very poorly. But I think that the way that the company and the game can rebound, I think, is a testament to how awesome and fun the game actually is. Where it's like playing a game where you're on a console and the game is running at 60 frames, and then you enter this one part of the game and all of a sudden the game starts falling apart where, you're losing frames and all this stuff, and the game is going to chug down and slow down. But if you're enjoying the game, you can kind of look past that kind of stuff. And I think for me, without sounding like an apologist for the game, I'm able to look right past that stuff. I mean, the struggle was real. Like I couldn't log in on day one on launch day.
Yeah.
I had a Pokemon Trainer Club account, and there was no way I was going to log into the game and start playing unless I was using my actual Pokemon official account. So I had to wait until the next day, and it was like, I remember Nintendo Wire was doing a live stream, and I don't forget what they were streaming, Animal Crossing or something, and they're like, wait a second, Pokemon Go has just launched, in the middle of the stream, and it was like,
Yep.
and I was so frustrated that day. It was like midnight on the East Coast, and I was just like, why won't it download? And every time I log into the game, I see my July 7th launch date, and I'm like, it should be the 6th.
That's funny.
Yeah, see, I went with a Gmail. Because everybody that I've been playing with, everybody's had issues with their Trainer Club accounts, and me, I've always had my Gmail login, and I haven't had an issue.
Yep, same. Yeah, I've spent some money on it. Usually, the only thing I use the money for, like the incubators, and then like to upgrade like the bags and the Pokemon storage. Probably like total, if I'm ballparking it, probably $80 or so. Since I started playing.
That's awesome. I mean, I think they said the average player with the entire player base has spent $7 on the game.
Yeah. And
which is massive.
And I feel good, like you said, because nothing's behind a paywall. I could do everything, absolutely everything I want to without it. I could just expedite it and make it a little bit faster and a little bit more streamlined and a little easier by paying a little bit of money, and I don't mind that. It's funny what you said, Ken, about your wife. It was probably like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was out with Val, and we went to a park and we were playing, and she was at a Pokestop, and she was like, oh, my bag's full, I can't get anything. And I was like, I know you don't play that much, so like, how full is your bag? Like, what do you have in your bag? Because she doesn't do the gyms, she doesn't do any of that. Like, all she cares about is just catching stuff and upgrading stuff. Like, she doesn't even want to catch ones that she already has, even though, XP, because she's like, I already have that. I don't even need to catch that. I'm not even going to bother. Unless it's one that she likes, but she doesn't deal with the riffraff Pokemon. She's like, I don't have time for that. I'm here.
Right.
I'm
but
here.
That's where Ditto is.
Yeah. she's got one, so she's happy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, let me see what's in your bag. And I was looking, I was like, oh, you've never put any money into this. I forgot. And she still had like the basic bag and the basic, storage for the Pokemon. And I was like, okay, hold on, give me your phone real quick. And I hooked her up with like $20 worth of coins. And I was like, okay, we're going to buy you some incubators. We're going to upgrade your bag. We're going to upgrade your Pokemon storage. Like, we need to set you up so that you could have a better time playing this without having that frustration of, oh, my bag's full. I need to go delete some berries and, throw away some of the Pokeballs so I can get this stop. And I was like, that's so unnecessary if you don't want to do that. Here's some coins. Have fun. I set her all up. She was like, oh, this is amazing. I'm like, yeah, this is the way it was meant to be played.
Yeah, you can definitely like really improve a lot of quality of life just by, doing that, setting up the bags and storage upgrades and stuff like that. But don't fool you, man. It's a trap because I'm fully maxed out 1,000 Pokemon storage and 1,500 bag space, and I'm maxed out every day anyway. So.
Oh yeah, I'm maxed out as well.
But you feel good being maxed out at that point, as opposed to like 150. You're like, okay, I have 75 berries. Like, what am I doing? Like that's half your bag storage. And okay, so gotta ask, where are you guys at with your levels? Where are you at with your Pokedex? Just overall, let's run down what your profiles look like.
Adam, go for it.
Okay, so I'm level 35.
Ooh.
and I am 535,955 experience into 1.5 million, I think. Something like that. Okay. I can't do numbers. I'm terrible at that. And then my Pokedex is I've caught 231 and I've seen 241.
Okay.
I'm sitting on a Dodrio. Like, I'm sitting on tons of Doduos, but nothing that's good enough for me to evolve it. I kind of want to just catch one in the wild. And then all the regionals.
Okay. So the Dodrio is the one that you're missing?
But technically I can get it at any point.
Okay. You're being stubborn about it?
Yeah. And then same thing, I'm missing Feraligatr and Ampharos.
Dude, Mareep candy is hard to come by in this game.
Porygon 2 and Blissey and Hitmontop.
Okay.
But with this new event, I'll probably get a Blissey soon.
Hopefully, right? We'll talk about the new event in a second. So, but you've got all the legendaries?
Yes.
Okay. Nice. Nicely done. Ken, where are you at, buddy?
All right, so Adam's team Mystic.
Okay.
Instinct.
I know.
I'm yellow.
No, I love the rivalry between the teams, and Instinct is always the one that just catches the most flack. So
yeah,
it's every time anyone's who's Instinct, it's like you're on Mystic, right? No,
every time I roll by a gym that's yellow, I'm like, why? Why would you do that? Like, you're fully capable of being blue. Oh, why are you yellow? That's stupid.
They're in the back eating glue. No,
it's my favorite color, guys. Come on.
No, but I'm Team Valor, so I'm no better. But I'm level 38, and I am about 60% into level, getting towards level 39. So. Sure. Once you hit level 33, I believe it really starts to stretch out with the amount of experience you need. I think to get from level 33 to level 34 is the same as level 0 to level 33.
Ugh.
So it really starts to compound. Like, I need 3 million XP to get from 38 to 39, and then 39 to 40 is 5 million XP. So it's pretty insane.
That hurts.
But the grind is super strong. Like, I'll never pass up a Pidgey or a Caterpie or a Weedle. Any of those 12 candy evolutions. Like, that's the good stuff for me. But
that's the bread and butter, huh?
That's the bread and butter. My Pokedex is I've caught 237 and I've seen 243. So my scene is maxed out for the national decks in the U.S. right now. I have seen, I've seen all the stuff that I need, but I do not have an unknown. And outside of Tauros, I don't have any of the regionals. So, but I have every legendary, I have all that stuff, plenty of them, and still no EX raid pass either. So, no Mewtwo. Oh yeah, I haven't seen a Mewtwo. So 244 would be the correct number in the U.S. right now.
Sure.
But yeah, Team Valor, man.
All right. Well, I just hit 32 a couple days ago.
You're almost done with the tutorial.
Yeah. The game is just about to start for me. I'm so excited. Yeah, no, that was a grind getting up to 32, and like hit it. I'm like, man, let's start all over again. Like, here we go. Okay. I, according to my Pokedex, have caught 229 and have seen 236. The most frustrating ones that I'm still missing is the Lapras. I can't. I've never seen that guy in the wild ever.
Wow.
Not once. And that's just kills me. Like that's the only one from Gen 1 other than the regionals that is just sitting there staring at me blankly. And the legendaries. I don't have any legendaries. And I'll explain the legendary thing in a second here. But then I'm also missing the Ampharos. I did manage to upgrade or evolve the Mareep into the, what is it? The Flaffy?
Yep.
Right? And that's my character that I'm rolling with as my buddy right now, trying to grind those candies out, so it's a slow grind. But other than that, the only other big one that I'm missing is the Miltank.
Yep.
He doesn't.
I just caught one of those the other day.
You caught one in the wild?
Yeah, it was in the parking lot. Like,
wow.
I work in a mall, so I was like, oh, I got to go all the way to the end of the mall to go get it. Come on.
How dare I have to get up and go? Like, this the whole concept.
I know. It pulls up as like nearby, and I walk one way, and then it disappears. I walk the other way, and it's getting closer, and I had to walk into the parking lot. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, I'm looking at my Pokedex right now. I've only seen 2 Miltanks, and I hatched both of them. So I've never seen a Miltank in the wild. So I got lucky with the hatches there.
Okay, well, I feel better about that. Val actually hatched one too the other day, and I was like, "Oh, are you kidding me?" So,
nice.
Yeah. So, legendaries. You guys are full maxed out on legendary status. It seems. You've participated in the raids and everything like that.
Yeah, we have in Jersey here, we have a exceptionally heavy and active raid scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I live at the Jersey Shore, but I work up in Central Jersey, kind of close to Newark Airport, right in the center, right by New York City. So I kind of commute between the two, and in both areas, there's just exceptionally active Pokemon Go communities that get organized through Facebook and Discord for the raids.
Right.
And so it's we've talked about this on the podcast on Gotta Watch 'Em All, where the raids have done a lot of good, but they've also really changed the game, and it's definitely debatable on what the raid dynamic has done to the game at large, because it's completely changed the dynamic of what the game was prior to raids being a thing. So it used to be about getting out there and exploring and walking and going from point A to point B and trying to track Pokemon and things like that. So that was really the culture of the game, was getting out there and playing. And then once the raids came out, it kind of shifted, and it became, let's organize and we're going to meet at this one point. And then when we're done at that point, we're going to all organize and we're going to meet at the next point. Mm-hmm. So the dynamic really shifted. So, it's good and bad. And I thoroughly enjoy raiding, and, I'm very active in my local raid community, and, we have an awesome group. I mean, we typically will roll 30 or 40 people deep, and, we'll do 10 raids in a row. But I still love getting out there and just walking, especially like spending time with my family. Like I think that dynamic of being able to have a community aspect where you're just out there exploring and actually being part of the environment, not just a product of the environment, I think is missed a little bit right now. So I'm definitely feeling raid fatigue, for sure. But the thrill of catching a legendary, and the anxiety and the tension that it builds, especially when you're attempting to catch your first one. Adam, you were talking about this a couple weeks ago. Like, you have that insane tension when you know that you only have a small window to catch something, and when it's right in front of you and it runs away, and it's like, that kind of tension is what makes this game super exciting.
Yes. I don't know. And then, like, my group that I have, it's a lot less organized, I guess. Because it's like I'm in a small compact area with 3 main points, and it's like it's 2 different groups. It's like the Tri-City Raid group, and then one's like somebody's name as the group, and it's like, all right, but we're all in this chat, and it's like some people are posting on Tri-City because there's half of the people that are in the named group in the Tri-City, but then there's not half on the other side, so it's like trying to get people together in multiple different chats, and it's getting to be really annoying trying to get everybody together. And then you'll post, you'll say, hey, there's a Snorlax here, there's a Raikou right across the street, does anybody want to do it? And then nobody responds. And then that's pretty much how it's been. Like day 1 and 2 of Raikou, everybody was out.
Sure.
And anytime you pick up that messenger, it's all right, we're here now, we're going here, we're here now, we're going here.
Right.
And
it's just the level of hardcore, come on, you got to get out there, man. No, it's like Devin was saying, with what he had wrote in, the bonds and the connections I've made with the players in my group, and how we all recognize each other, and we could be driving and we span 20, 30 miles, this group. So I mean, we could be way out and run into the same person.
Sure.
That having that dynamic and camaraderie is, that's a second to none experience. And obviously that was probably in the mission statement of Niantic when they created this game, was to get trainers out there playing together. So that dynamic, and for those reasons, it's exactly what Devin was saying. It's like once you get out there and start meeting people, it's a whole new element that you could have a Mario Kart community where you play online, or Call of Duty and stuff like that. But getting out there in person and having that kind of breaking those social anxieties, because a lot of these Pokemon players are not the most outspoken and straightforward, kind of let me get out there and meet people kind of people. So you have like this, it's kind of like the island of Misfit Toys. You have all these different people from all these different walks of life and different age groups and different backgrounds, and everyone's got a different story, but they're all playing the same game. That's where things get awesome.
Sure.
And then I said, like I work in the mall, so I see people walk by, and I'm like, hey, I raid with them. I know who they are. Like I run up and say hi.
Is it like Fight Club where like you guys aren't allowed to talk to each other when you're not raiding?
Well, some people just kind of like look at me and they're like, I think that's him.
Just kind of like a wink
and like
and a
I
nod.
can feel it, and I can see, yeah. Like they do the nod, and they're just like, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. They're like, please, I'm with my family.
Yeah. Don't embarrass me.
No, man. In my group, everyone's like wearing Pikachu shirts and Pikachu hats, and
Sure.
We're just showing team colors and waving flags and stuff. So you gotta
awesome.
wear that nerd flag. You gotta wave that proud.
Yeah.
Well, I've got my instinct hat.
There you go.
That's why nobody talks to you, Adam.
So they're like, there's the lone wolf of the group. But Josh, I need to know what your legendary perspective is.
100% social anxiety. I don't want to deal with people. I don't want to have to interact with people. I don't want to have to meet new people. I don't want to have to stand around in a group of people I don't know and try to fake friendliness. I don't want to try to organize with people. All of that sounds absolutely horrible to me, and it's not something I want to do. My anxiety goes through the roof just thinking about it, and I'm like, nope, the legendaries are not worth it to me. I badly want them, but not that bad, and I haven't been able to bring myself to it. The one time I tried it, and I told this on the podcast, but was when I Leroy Jenkins it right when the legendaries came out. I was driving around downtown with my daughter. We were going to the library or something. And I'm like, oh, the legendaries were supposed to come out today. And so I pulled it up. I'm like, oh, there's one couple blocks away. Let's drive by and see what's happening. Because all the raids that I do, I only do the level 1 and level 2s because I can do them by myself without having to worry about anybody. Yeah, I do them solo. Get in, get out, done, get the XP, get whatever, like the candies and everything, and I'm out, So I'm like, okay, the legendaries probably aren't going to be level 1 or 2, but let's just go find out, So we rolled up there, and is outside a church, which is just uncomfortable as it is. And everybody's just kind of standing around, and like I pull it up. I'm like, yeah, it's here. So we park, and we're like parked like across the street, but like still close enough to tag it. And everybody's looking down, everybody's doing their thing. I'm like, oh, okay, they must be going. Let's do this. So I'm like, okay, I got my raid pass. I'm like bulking up on my Pokemon. I'm ready to go. Throw my raid pass in, and I'm like, okay, let's do this. And I went in, and I was like, oh, nobody else is doing this right now. And I just got destroyed because obviously there's no way I could do that by myself. And then I was like, I don't know. Do I yell at everybody to jump in? Like, this is going to cause mass panic and chaos. And there was probably like 10 to 12 people standing around. So probably enough to do it, but I didn't know if they were waiting for more people or they had already done it. Like, I didn't, and like all of a sudden, like the stress of the entire situation, just I couldn't handle anymore. I'm like, nope, this is the last time I'm ever doing this. This is horrible.
Don't talk to me. I can totally picture that, man. No, it's with a legendary, you're gonna need a minimum of 5. You could have 5 high level players, and they're gonna just barely get through. So you're going to need 7 or 8 if you're an average player or mid-range level player.
Right.
You need to have an organized group if you want to try to get legendary. So it's the struggle is real, man. That's half the challenge of breaking out and doing these legendary raids. And some people can do it. Some people will stick to the Magikarps, and that's fine. That's the dynamic of the game.
But one of the quality of life changes or updates that they just did was the raid lobby. So now you can see how many people are in the lobby before you jump in.
Adam, I saw that broken. And I was like, where was this weeks ago? I needed this so bad.
It's there now.
Yeah, it's still broken though. You're still committing to spending a raid pass to enter the lobby. So if it says 2, you still have to jump in and spend your raid pass. And if it never grows beyond that and you can't do it, you're on Beat Street, Yeah, well. But it's an interesting dynamic, and it's something new in gaming. I mean, obviously they had this dynamic with Ingress, but I really did not know anything about that game and how that worked at all. But it's a similar community-based aspect to the game. But if that's the beauty of the game. It gives you a bunch of different ways you could play.
Yeah, I know. Like they definitely touted it from the beginning as being like this big social experience and whatnot, but for me, like I absolutely love the fact that I could play it completely solo and still have fun, and I play it throughout my day when I'm working. I drive around town all day, and I just have it constantly going with podcasts playing, and it's constantly plugged into the charger because it drains your battery like nobody's business still. But
yep.
I have off work tomorrow. I'm staring at 3 battery chargers powering up on my desk right now.
Yeah.
It's the battery eater.
Mm-hmm. 3 is the magic number. That's how many chargers I have.
Yep. But it's nice just to be able to play it when I want, as I want, do what I want with it, still have fun. If Val and I want to go on a Pokemon date and go walk down the waterfront and catch Pokemon, like we could still do that. I still enjoy that, but like I don't need the big social experience with it, and that's I wish the legendaries there was another way other than having to be completely social, and maybe that'll change down the road. Who knows?
Yeah, trading will be here soon.
Yeah, once that happens, I'm like, okay, cool. Like that's,
and by soon I mean like 2024.
Hey, you know what? I'll still be playing. We all will, so it doesn't matter.
Yep.
We'll be playing with our iPhone 136. So, yeah, it's like you said, the ability to play how you want is what still makes this game special and still keeps it going, I think. So
yeah, absolutely.
That and updates. There's a big update tomorrow, or when you guys are listening to this, it will be the day of. So what's in the update, guys?
So this is a huge update, and this is something that the community has asked for months. So actually, last Halloween, that was the period that they did the first seasonal update, seasonal event. And what they did was double XP and ghost type Pokemon, and they did double Stardust. So now double Stardust is the currency that you use to level up your Pokemon in the game. Stardust is one of the rarest commodities in the game, and the hardest thing to manage as a player, because if you have a good Pokemon and you want to commit to that Pokemon and invest the currency in it, you can run through your entire surplus of this Stardust powering up a single Pokemon. So it's very high demand. So they're doing an Equinox event. I'll read the actual press release. It says from 1 p.m. Pacific time on September 22nd through October 2nd, you'll have the opportunity to earn double Stardust for catching Pokemon and hatching eggs as you walk around your neighborhood, discovering new sites. While you're out exploring, be sure to visit local Pokestops and gyms to get special 2K eggs that have the opportunity to hatch Pokemon such as Chansey, Mareep, and Larvitar. See, that's going to be huge for both of you guys. Because, you need that Chansey candy for Blissey, and you need that Mareep candy to get the Ampharos. And, it says you'll also be able to get special boxes in the in-game shop to feature games like items like Lucky Eggs, Lure Modules, and a new Super Incubator that'll hatch eggs at 1.5 times the normal rate. And then they're going to be doing triple XP for new Pokedex entries. So they're trying this. What this tells me is that they're really pushing people to get out there to fill their decks, because Gen 3 must be on the horizon. So I'm super excited. But double Stardust. Stardust is something that everyone has been excited for. What's your Stardust count? I think that's a good metric to kind of look at.
Well,
that's
the thing. You keep saying it's hard to come by, and I don't feel like I've ever said to myself, wow, I wish I had some more Stardust.
But do you play to the extent that you're monitoring your Pokemon's IVs and stats?
No.
See, that's the difference. So with the more, if you were to play on a little bit more of a core perspective, when you find a Pokemon that has good stats, and you do that through the appraisal tool in the game, you can appraise, and there's different sayings, and you can find out generally how great your Pokemon is and what stats it has that are highly rated. So if you find a good Pokemon and you want to invest that one to build its level, and that's ultimately going to increase its hit points, increase its CP, the CP kind of trickles down to every other aspect of how that Pokemon is going to perform in the gym meta. Right. So if you're playing the gym meta hard, you're going to want to have leveled up Pokemon, because you're going to be able to take down Pokemon that are defending, and then once you leave them in the gym, that's what's going to kind of dictate how long they're going to last and how well they'll do against people that are attacking. So, I mean, I have a perfect Dragonite, right? I hatched a 100% Dratini, brought that up to Dragonair, brought it up to Dragonite, and I think I had to invest something like 400,000 Stardust to get it from where it was to fully maxed, and I don't even think it's all the way up yet. So I've been a Stardust hoarder since day one. So I've always hung around that 1.5 million to 2 million Stardust window, because I've been super stingy with deciding what Pokemon to power up. Now, Adam, you said you were, how were you? 16,000, you said?
Where do you find the Stardust, actually?
You get 100 Stardust for every catch.
No. Where do you find out how much you have?
Just go to your Pokemon screen. So just bring up any Pokemon in your storage, and it'll show it right there.
Oh, okay.
So you just look at any of your Pokemon.
594,225.
So a core player would normally be like, that's an amazing, that's a lot.
Yeah, can I have some of that?
Yeah, it just feels like I always get it and I don't ever do anything with it. So.
Hey man, y'all get any of that Stardust?
Yeah, plenty,
I was scratching my neck right there when I was saying that. I know this isn't a visual medium, but I was like, Tyrone Biggums. But that's the meta. That's the difference between the players that are playing to catch and the players that are playing to win within the gym. So it's just different dynamics and different play styles. But Adam, what did you have? 16,000?
I just have 16,000, and that's for my Furret, because I can power him up 2 more times, and then he'll be at the highest he can go for my level.
And see, I've powered up a few of my Pokemon, just on a whim, but it breaks my heart to do it because it also takes candies to do so. So I'm like, I don't want to use that candies to power it up, because I'm going to hoard those candies for, an evolution here soon. So that's where it breaks me. I can't separate myself from those candies in order to use the Stardust.
That's where you got to find the happy medium. Who do I want to, do I want to evolve to fill out the decks, or do I want to power up to have something better for the gym meta? And that's, again, it's just you can if you want to do both, it requires you to get out there and grind, because the only way you're going to have enough Stardust and enough candy to to hatch that or to evolve that Tyranitar is by either walking 1 billion kilometers with Larvitar as your buddy, or just actually getting out there and grinding and catching just to build up getting all that candy. So that's the challenge. It's super hard. Like Pidgey candy, a dime a dozen. But I mean, I walked Larvitar for, actually I could check, but I mean, I walked him for over 100 kilometers for sure.
I got lucky with that one when they did their big anniversary bonanza, and I had gotten the Larvitar egg. So I got like 50 something candy from it, and
nice.
I had already gathered some candy from before. So like I walked with him, I probably got like 3 candies from walking with him before I hatched. I got some really good eggs with it and stocked up on candies and had enough to evolve into the big dude. So I was super lucky with that one.
Oh yeah, I walked my Larvitar 225 kilometers.
Holy cow!
Wow.
Yeah. During that event also I was it's Blissey and Chauncey, right?
Chansey's the basic. Chansey's the first one,
yeah.
and it evolves to Blissey.
So I didn't have either one of them, and during that event I hatched a Chansey, and I got like 60 candies with it, with the egg hatch. So I was like, oh, flip that around, evolve into Blissey right now. So in one egg, I essentially got both of the Pokemon that I hadn't had before.
Yeah, Chansey and Blissey are some of the most rare Pokemon to find in the wild. So it's, when you hatch, that's always just massive, because unless you get, the luck, sometimes you'll hatch Larvitar and it's like 7 candy. It's like, bro, thanks.
Yeah.
Great. Really. But yeah, during those events, if you score, a Dratini or a Larvitar or Mareep during that time, it's that's gold.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because I feel kind of like a crazy person, but I need like some perspective on how you guys do this. What Pokemon do you keep?
Adam, you have a totally different perspective on this than I do. So how do you do
it? I don't even know how to explain it. I keep all my 100% IV Pokemon, which is only 6 of them. And then basically anything that it can battle with the best. I mean, the appraisal is different for everybody, but in Instinct, it's battle with the best of them is the highest it can be. And then it's, HP, defense, whatever. And then it looks like it can battle with the best of them as far as like the end appraisal piece. So it has to be both those and any combination of HP, defense, attack. And that's pretty much what I keep. So I always have like a high IV, Tyranitar.
Sure.
A high IV Pidgey. Well, my Pidgey is now a Pidgeot at 100%.
Well, so, he's also powered up to the max. Even if it's a 100% Pidgey, he'll sink all his candy and
that's where it all went. That's where it all went.
So how many Pokemon do you currently have like in your storage right now?
I'm averaging the ones that I want to keep.
Yeah, at any given time, like how many Pokemon do you have on hand?
Roughly like 600.
Okay.
And that's the stuff that I want to keep. The other extra stuff is stuff that I haven't gone through or saving for an evolution party.
Sure. Okay. Ken, what about you?
When I first started playing and I was low level, I would tier it. So if I had anything over like 1,000 CP, I would use that as a benchmark and say, "Oh, I'm going to keep this one. It's strong."
Right.
And as I leveled up and started getting more into the IVs and the statistics, I did similar to Adam. If the appraisal comes back at over 80%, and that's going to be the highest tier from the first appraisal sentence. typically I'll save anything that's over 80% that has a perfect single stat or better. So if it's over 80% and it has one, either perfect attack, stamina, or defense, I'll keep that. And if it has 2 stats or even better, of course, I'll always keep that. But I'm currently running a living dex, meaning I actually have one of every Pokemon in my dex. Mm-hmm. So I'll have, the Pidgey, the Pidgeot, the Pidgeotto, Pidgeot. I'll have one of everything.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, it's going to lose. I'm going to lose that when Gen 3 comes out, just because for storage reasons, I'm going to need to have the space. But I'll typically keep. I mean, it hurt me super bad, but I transferred like 5 Snorlax recently. I transferred 3 Charizard the other day. Just because I'm running out of space, and when I'll typically have between 600 and 800 Pokemon in the box at any time. And if I'm lean and mean, like I've transferred everything and I'm just down to bare bones, with what I want to keep, I'm usually at about 600, 620. And then, I'll bring it up to 1,000, and then I'll do, an hour or an hour and a half worth of Lucky Egg evolution parties, and then bring that back down to, that 600, 620 mark. But once Gen 3 comes, that's gonna change everything up, and you're gonna have to. I'm gonna, because I'll keep 3 Charizard, I'll keep 3 Dragonite, 3 Tyranitar, but I may have to bring that down to keeping 2 of all the big dogs, unless they further increase the bag storage.
Right. Okay. This is gonna sound crazy, possibly.
I like it.
Okay. For one, I don't see my Pokedex as anything that I should ever brag about, because I don't feel like it's I like the term living Pokedex. Like I the basic Pokedex, it's like, well, yeah, I had one at one point, but now I don't. So it's like, I had this picture of this pet at one time, but I can't show you this pet, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it, type of thing. Drives me crazy. So, the first stages of each Pokemon, I keep 2 of. Okay, I always have 2. When I'm transferring them for the candies, if I get to the point where I have enough candies to evolve one of them, I will keep 3. So when I'm going through, when I see that I have 3, that means that I could evolve one, so I don't have to constantly be clicking on them and trying to remember which ones I have candies for and whatnot.
That's a nice little visual cue.
Saves time, during the Lucky Eggs. Yeah. So that if I see I have, 3 Staryus, it's like, oh, okay, that means I have enough candies, so I just, pick my highest CP one and evolve that sucker, and now I'm back to 2. So the evolutions I keep 3 of. Only if it's the last evolution. If it's a second evolution, I try to still keep the 2 method going on with that. So, because there's a second evolution, I don't want to mess up that whole system. But the final evolutions of everything, I like to keep 3 of, with the exception of my Eevees. My Eevees, I like to keep 4 of. Don't ask me why. I haven't worked that out mentally or emotionally, but that's just kind of where I'm at with Eevees.
Dude, Eevee's a cute Pokemon. 4 is good. I think I have like 30 of them right now. It's like they're all going to go to the candy factory soon.
Yeah, don't forget, Leafeon and Glaceon are coming too.
Yep, save those candies.
Well, okay. When I say 4 Eevees, I meant like the evolved form of Eevees. Regular Eevees, I keep 2 of. Don't get me wrong. Like, if I have 3, I'm ready to evolve.
He's like, whoa. There's a method to my madness. Yeah. I might be crazy, but I'm...
4 of all the Eevee evolutions. The other ones that I keep 4 of are any of the ones that don't evolve at all. So, your Snorlax, right. Your whatevers.
Sudowoodo.
Tauros.
Dunsparce.
Yep. I keep 4 of those. If, once I get to 4, not all of them I have 4 of, obviously. But yeah, like that's my system. That's the only way like I could rationalize like keeping a bunch of them. I have currently 530, but my storage is only at 600, so I feel like I'm doing good with that. But
yeah, it's not bad.
Do you ever play with naming conventions? Do you ever change nicknames?
Nope. Luck of the draw, my friend.
See, I do a very basic convention where, if I have a Pokemon that's over 80% and has at least one perfect stat, I'll star it, so I'll favorite it, so that I'll light up a star, so I can't transfer it, and then I'll simply add an A for attack, S for stamina, or D for defense at the end of the name. So I know this Pokemon is over 80% and it has a perfect, if it's Snorlax AD, I know I have a Snorlax with perfect attack and perfect defense. And then now since they brought in TMs, the technical machines that allow you to change your Pokemon's moveset, that was a huge dynamic shift in the game and something that they really listened to the community, and they brought this in from the core, Sun and Moon, or the core, games like Sun and Moon, where the TMs have always been this ability for Pokemon to learn new moves. So I used to tag my Pokemon if they had the preferred moveset, but now with the different legendaries and the rating strategies, that your moveset kind of has to be fluid. It has to be able to shift to compensate for weakness of the legendary that you're going for. So it gets super technical. So, I don't even tag them based on moveset anymore. But I've seen people do like if they're going to evolve something, or they want to do like a mass evolve to make it easier, they'll just erase their name and make it like letter A. So when they bring up the list, everything that they're going to evolve is at the top. There's a lot of cool little tricks you could do with it, but I actually like your method. I think that's a nice, easy way to visually be able to run through your current Pokemon storage and know exactly where you are in the evolution and candy grind process. I like it.
Because when I do the lucky eggs, like, I feel so stressed. I'm like, okay, I got a half hour. I got to make the most of this time as much as I can. So, like, every night or so, like, I'll go through and I'll transfer to get the candies and everything and stock up. And but yeah, like, when I do those lucky eggs to do the evolution parties, I feel the pressure, and I try to lessen my anxiety as much as I possibly can with it. So
I did an hour of just Pidgeys the other night.
Really?
It was just Pidgeys.
Wow.
I did I think that in the first one I got through, I think, close to 60 of them, and then the second time, I wasn't going as fast because I was kind of falling asleep, but I think I got through about 50. So it was like, just Pidgeys. Like, dude, they need to automate this process.
That's crazy. I only have one Pokemon that's starred.
One what?
One Pokemon with a star on it.
One?
Yeah.
That must be a special Pokemon. Tell me why? How did it earn this honor?
It's a 10 CP Magikarp.
Heck yes.
Is it shiny?
No.
I also have one.
Wait, how do I know if it's shiny?
It's
It
gold.
would be gold.
Oh, so it actually does physically look different?
Yes.
Okay, no, don't have one of those.
Ah, jeez.
Nope.
You got me all excited. I was like, Josh has a shiny Magikarp?
No.
So when a Pokemon is in its basic form, so either a Pokemon that does not evolve or a Pokemon that does evolve, but in its most basic form, and it has 10 CP, that is a clear level 1 Pokemon. So there's a subculture of Pokemon Go players that are building a trophy dex where they're trying to get level 1s of everything. So there's people that have like 30 CP Charizard, 30 CP Blastoise, because you can get level, 10 CP, 20 CP, 30 CP based on level 1 of each of those Pokemon. So that, I have a 10 CP Magikarp, and whenever I want to troll a gym, like if I'm
that's the only reason I use it.
Dude, it's the greatest thing ever.
No other reason.
I remember when the game first came out, that was called carping, and it was like a popular gag.
Yeah.
And I still do that all the time, especially if there's like a gym where someone's trying to do a theme where everything is like an evolutionary line, or they're all Eevee-based Pokemon, and it's like, I'm going to ruin this gym's day. And I just, sorry, Mystic, and I'll just wipe it out and then leave a Magikarp behind, and it's just going to burn someone up when they see it.
Yeah. Kind of stuff cracks me up.
I leave Shuckle and Wobbuffet. That's like my two troll guys.
Wobbuffet.
So ridiculous. Man, Pokemon Go. It's fun, isn't it?
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Dude, it's funny how my life has changed since the game came out, with getting out there and exercising, and that's a whole nother dynamic that we didn't even dig into, but I've gotten outside and just, my vitamin D count when I go get blood work done, like it doesn't even come up on the chart, like, because I'm a hobbit, so I stay inside as much as possible. So it's like literally I go, so they're like, dude, you have no vitamin D in your body, like get outside now. And
please see the sun.
Since the game came out, I've used it as a really nice excuse to get out there and explore and visit new places. Like this summer we went on a botanical garden kind of mission where we were going to all the different botanical gardens in the state and arboretums and things like that. And it was the perfect reason and the perfect excuse and motivational tool to say, let's get in the car and let's get out there.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother element that makes this game so awesome. But dude, it's I have off of work tomorrow, and it's like it's like when a kid has off of school on Saturday and you wake up and you're like, dude, I'm gonna watch cartoons all day. I have that same feeling, and
I'm gonna go raid all day.
Yeah, man. It's like I can't wait. It's like I drop off my kid at school, and it's like I'm giddy like a little schoolboy, and I'm like, no, I get to go raid. But it's good times, man. It's good times.
That's awesome. One more thing I want to talk about tonight before we still have to do the community question. We have an email to answer, but I do want to acknowledge the fact that on the Nintendo Switch, Pokken Tournament DX is being released. It'll be tomorrow for us, today for listening audience out there. You guys getting it?
I'm definitely going to get it. My 9-year-old son is a huge Pokken Tournament player on the Wii U, so he's very excited. And we never bought any of the downloadable packs for the Wii U game, so it'll be nice getting the DX version to have everything kind of good to go. And it's fully Amiibo compatible, so that's good stuff too.
Yeah.
Fully Amiibo compatible? What does that mean?
Get stuff. It
means it's a Nintendo game, and
yeah,
you can scan Amiibo and it does stuff.
I have so many of those things.
All right, so we were talking about this before we started recording. I do want to give a big shout out to Pokemon Rumble. Rumble U. Pokemon Rumble came out in 2009 on the original Wii, and then they rebranded it for the Wii U in 2013. And you could get these GameStop exclusive NFC Pokemon figures that were probably only an inch or two tall. They had a very, very stylized art design, very, very cool looking figures, and you could tap them into the Wii U. And this predates the first Amiibo by, I don't know, something like 15 months or something like that.
Yeah.
So this was Nintendo's first foray into NFC. Mm-hmm. So, and it flew under the radar because it was a GameStop exclusive for the toys themselves. And you could play the game completely without any of the toys. This is total Nintendo style. You don't need the Amiibo, but the Amiibo will enhance the gameplay in some way.
Right.
And so I just want to give a shout out to Pokemon Rumble U and the Toys for Games podcast for being the original Toys for Games game.
Yeah.
For Nintendo systems. But
I saw a bunch of those little guys.
DX looks awesome. Yeah, dude, the value, these little guys, I mean, you look at eBay prices of Disney Infinity and other stuff like that, and the markets were so saturated that unless you have a perfectly packaged chase figure or something like that, the values are going to be pretty mediocre. But
right.
These Pokemon Rumble U, man, they were super rare at retail, so a set is going to cost you $400 or $500 for sure.
Yeah, which is crazy. Pokemon, man, it's a hot brand. People like it.
20 years deep.
Yeah,
I've been playing it since I was 10, so I don't see myself stopping.
I mean, at this point, they won't let you.
They won't.
Those
They're like,
hooks are
we
in
heard
ya."
we heard you like the cards. Here's a new set. We heard you like the games. Here's more new games.
That's the scary thing with like Pokemon Go, though, is like Ken was saying, like generally, Gen 3 is like around the corner at some point.
And then Gen 4?
Yeah, like they could just do this as long as they want to. Like they could delay the inevitable. As long as they say, yeah, it's coming, people will be like, okay, we'll wait. We'll keep playing until then.
Just to dangle that carrot.
In the meantime, we'll increase bag storage and Pokemon storage.
Level cap increase. And
here's some Stardust.
Dude, the first day they upgraded the bag storage, they're like, because it used to be, I forgot what it used to be, 800? Was it 800 or something? I don't know. 750. But when they upgraded, it was like $20. Bam! It's like upgrade. I was like, so yeah. The second they do that, it's that's one of the big things on my want list.
Sure. All right, guys, let's do a community question here, shall we?
Yes.
Yes.
Community question this week is going to be sponsored by our friend Michael O'Driscoll. You can find him over on Twitter at amiibo_museum. As you've heard me say many times, his wife is a singer. She has an album. Her name is Anya, Ania. Her album is called And the Light Comes In. I highly recommend checking it out. You can listen to it on Spotify first, but you could also find it on iTunes if you want to kick him a few bucks and purchase that album. Totally worth it, folks. Totally worth it. The community question, because I knew you guys were coming on and we'd have fun with this one. The response of the week is going to get a mystery box with a Pokemon theme to it. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to put in there, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be worth your time to win it, which, you already entered, so there's that. Community question. Simple, straightforward. What's your favorite Pokemon and why? Now, I felt weird writing that question because part of me wanted to say, who's your favorite Pokemon? But I'm very conflicted on how to describe them. What or who, it could go either way depending on who you're talking to.
Dude, pronouns are very topical.
Yeah. So I just went with the what. Nobody got offended, I don't think. So, do you guys have it pulled up on Twitter by chance? I want to have you guys read through it.
Okay.
I'm going to jump through it right now.
Here, I'll link it over in the Skype chat. There we go. And we'll run through it. I'll let you guys read through it. And then you guys will have the honor of picking the winner.
Of course,
no pressure.
Of course,
that's
he's
what I was
the
just
first
gonna
one
say.
to
I was like,
respond.
I'm glad
Of
you
course
said.
he is.
I'm glad you said, what Pokemon, because there are objects as like Klefki's a key ring chain, and like Vanillix or whatever is an ice cream cone.
Right.
Yeah, but the commercial
But they have
bumper segment
faces.
never said, "What's that Pokemon?" It's always, "Who's that Pokemon?"
Pikachu, obviously. All right, go guys. What do we have for the responses?
All right, so of course, Shopkins Inquire is the first one to respond. Fantastic. And he chose Vanillix. He says, because it's ranked number 1 in my very scientific Pokemon most likely to be confused as Shopkins poll, which is absolutely awesome. So Vanillix is literally a vanilla ice cream cone Pokemon.
Yeah, with a face. All right, Adam, you guys go back and forth. How about that?
Okay. And then this is Alan Wilkinson at Cassius335. I'm a lazy Gen 1er, so I'm going to go with Charizard. Gotta love the non-dragon type dragon. Its Megaform helps too. P.S. was a little bit tempted to give a Digimon name as an answer. And see, I would have respected that. I actually really enjoy Digimon too.
That's blasphemous. Blasphemous.
Totally could have pulled one over on me if he threw that out there, but you guys would have caught it. So, all right, Ken.
Van Anderson, Munchlax. Munchlax is definitely up there on my list as well. I love this character in the anime, and I honestly look like him as a child. I also love to eat like him. So Munchlax is the baby form of Snorlax. It's a Gen 4 Pokemon, and just like Snorlax, it will take down some food in short order, and it's super cute.
Nice.
Adam? Do I have these out of order?
Twitter, look, I'm with Adam on this one because Twitter messes it up. See it differently depending on who's looking at it. Because for me, the next one was Matt Upton's.
Yeah, I see a different order as well. Yeah. So just read them off. We'll get them all.
We'll
figure it out.
Okay, so
we'll catch them all.
Does this count? Because this doesn't say #community question, but it says sorry. I only have it's by Matt Upton at Matt Rupton. Sorry, I only have a favorite terrible Pokemon joke. How do you fit 100 Pikachus in a mini?
How, Matt?
Pokemon. Pokemon.
Come on, get it.
Pokemon. That's like, how do you why don't you take Pikachu in the shower? Because he'll peek at you.
That's weird because that's exactly why I bring him in the shower.
Yeah, I was going to say that makes me want to bring him in.
That's like bringing a hairdryer and it's plugged in.
Yeah, it's true.
That's not okay.
No,
I don't advise it.
Safety first, kids.
Chris Bushy at Vortex Chris says Tapu Koko. Said it hits hard and fast like lightning. Tapu Koko is one of the new Gen 7 Pokemon that is a fan favorite and some of the coolest new design work in Pokemon design. So Tapu Koko, good stuff.
All right, and this is Andres Otero at Gold Detero 101. Snorlax. I relate so much to this Pokemon. He is also good in competitive battle, was great in the anime, and just means the world to me.
Snorlax. Dude, you can't go wrong with Snorlax.
You can't wake him up either.
You can't wake him up. That's Melissa's favorite Pokemon, so this house is filled with Snorlax stuff. So
Sure.
Can't go wrong with Snorlax. Uriel Espinoza at Uriel Espinoza B. Heracross, because of his good and simple design, rare type combination, Megahorn, and the Japanese beetle fighting origin. Megahorn is a solid move.
Take your word for it, kid.
I promise.
All right, and then we've got Super Mecha Carry at Carry Clan. Torterra. It's a big turtle with a little forest and a mountain on its back.
Is that
I
true?
respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is a Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
No, totally.
The joke in the card game when that deck was big was the deck was Torterrable.
Oh, nice. BDK, Blue Dragon Kais. What's up, dude? Hoopa, because it's cute genie who can become a giant djinn and summon legendary Pokemon from its rings. Are you surprised? I don't know if you've ever seen Hoopa, the Hoopa movie, but it's awesome.
No.
I haven't seen it either, Ken.
Dude, you know there's 20 Pokemon movies?
I would not have guessed that.
Dude, some of them are real bad.
Yeah.
All right, then we got Jeff Grimes at Jeff Grimes 23. Regice. I love that guy in the trading card game since he can prevent EXs from attacking.
See, look at that. He's choosing function over fashion.
There we go.
Evan Parker, Lone Goldfish. Oh, man, I'm getting all the regulars. This is great. What's up? Far-Fetched. He was pretty strong. He got the XP bonus for being traded. That and ducks are awesome.
I mean, yeah. He's right there.
That's quacking crazy. All right, then we got Stressa at Evermorph. Eevee because it can adapt to its environment or situation.
Deadpool Ranger at Deadpool_Ranger. While I love every generation, Magnemite is my all-time favorite. As for why, we'll look at it. It's cute. All right, Deadpool, you're gonna have to explain yourself a little bit on this one because when I think of a cute Pokemon, I don't necessarily think of Magnemite. I don't know if I could want to snuggle and hug and I don't know. I don't see it. I need further explanation.
Yeah, I'm not on board. Magnemite, really?
I mean,
is it just because he's
it's
attractive?
The eyeball, I think. Oh, Adam.
And then we've got regular person at person of regular. Gumi because it's a squishy dragon slug that evolves into a destructive yet huggable monster. Also, it's purple, and I love purple. That's a good reason.
Yeah, fair enough.
And the last one, William Thorndike at Red Eyes 070. Eevee, because it's the most versatile of any Pokemon, and that it is.
Okay. Now we have the tough part. Picking a winner. And the winner cannot be Shopkins Inquirer.
I love how he gets excluded from every
he or she
question. It's so good. Yes, he or she.
Yeah.
Who or what?
Yeah, they. So what do you guys lean? What tickled your fancy on this community question?
I don't know. I'm kind of leaning either towards Ben Anderson because his love for Munchlax was it's kind of twofold. He said he both looked like him and eats like him. So that's pretty good. And I'm kind of leaning towards Far-Fetched because ducks are awesome. So Evan Parker. So I don't know, Adam, where are you? What do you think?
I'm at Super Mecha Carry with Torterra and Jeff Grimes with Regice because he put in like a card that act like so he knows like what that card does, and I don't know. I just feel like that took a little bit of effort to really pull that together.
Sure.
This is hard. Who's gonna have to decide?
And like I'm very familiar with Regice, so like I know that card. I know how frustrating it is.
You guys have to at least narrow it down to one each.
I know, right? That's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe Ken will say one of the two that I'm thinking of. And he didn't.
I think
Typical Ken.
Dude, I think I'm gonna have to go with Evan Parker, Farfetch'd, because ducks are awesome.
What would you narrow your one down to, Adam? I know it's tough.
I mean, my last name's Tuttle. I like turtles. I like Torterra, so I'm gonna go with Super Mecha Carry for Torterra.
Okay, I'll tie break between the two of them. They're both win.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that. Everybody wins.
That's called democracy, awesome. Folks. Carry Clan, Lone Goldfish, get a hold of me. I will send you both a Pokemon mystery box. Thank you to everybody for participating, and thank you to you guys for doing the dirty work and picking out the winners.
It was pretty stressful.
That was hard.
I had to get out my Quackulator for that one.
Jeez.
Sorry, I'm still stuck on it.
One last thing to do, and that's read some emails. The email segment is sponsored by one of our community question winners, Evan Parker, a.k.a. the Lone Goldfish. You could find him over on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/the Lone Goldfish, or go over and check him out on Twitter. Say hi. Tell him we sent you. We have 2 emails here, guys. One of them just came in, just barely under the gun.
Was it Atari Alex?
It's not, surprisingly. Yeah.
Come on. I was expecting it.
I know. He's too busy complaining about his upgrades that he keeps getting every time he does a Pokestop. So, first one is from Guadalupe. Guadalupe writes in and says, "Yo, it's Guadalupe. So happy to have an episode to hear this week because I've been having a rough week with Mexico and Puerto Rico being hit by Mother Nature. I was born in Mexico and lived a good 13 years of my life in Puerto Rico. But don't worry, all my friends and family appear to be safe. I just wanted to leave this email to let you guys know that hearing you guys always cheers me up in times when I need a bit of a pick-me-up. Thanks." Guadalupe, sorry that awesome. Jason wasn't able to...
I'm glad you're safe.
Yeah, glad everybody's safe, though, and hopefully Ken and Adam filled in admirably for Jason's missing presence here, but yeah, glad everybody's safe and sound. Guadalupe did leave a PS, said, "My brother is a big Pokemon fan and can name almost 800 Pokemon. How many do you think you could name before giving up? Me? I don't know. I'm not the Pokemon guy in the family. What about you guys?"
Oh my god.
That's rough.
I'd say a good 300 to 400. And that's on a good day.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll open a pack of cards and I'll still see Pokemon and be like it's the first time I'm seeing them. Like, who the heck is this guy?
Like the electric rodent, the new one from Sun and Moon. It's like Togedemaru.
Togedemaru.
I'm like, I just can't get the name right.
New Pikachu.
What would be easier for
Pachirisu.
you guys? What would be easier for you guys? Sitting here and just naming off Pokemon until you can't think of any more? Or... Yes. Seeing a picture of them and trying to name what that Pokemon is?
Oof.
I could name them all if you gave me pictures.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
oh, dude. Is that a challenge?
No.
Ken, you got yourself a show, an episode here.
I see a Twitch stream, charity Twitch stream, beat Stump the Trainer.
Yeah.
No.
Coming soon. That'd be hilarious.
Mr. Know-It-All over here.
I know.
Yeah, right?
I know. What did I just do to myself?
Cocky like Ash.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I feel better knowing that you guys can't like rattle off all 800 without thinking twice about it. Like, I'm seeing these Gen 2 ones. I'm like, man, I clearly bailed after Gen 1. Like,
well, they just keep coming out with new stuff. Now there's like, okay, so Assembly B, Assembly A. Like what are those? I wouldn't be able to name those.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many, and what's cool is that this is, with the release of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon in November, this is the first time a non core series game. This is kind of like a spin-off of an existing game where they're introducing new Pokemon, so they're pumping them out. They just keep coming.
Totally. Okay, second email. This one is from our friend Green Armadillo. Writes in, Josh and the Pokemon crew. What do you think of the various local laws, regulations, and lawsuits that came up as a result of trespassing, damage to property, noise, etc. in the early days of Pokemon Go? I don't want it to be hard to create interesting things, but I also would not be thrilled if I personally had to clean up the mess, or if I lived in a county that spent all of its park budget cleaning up from nightly Pokemon gatherings.
Yes, this is a definite heated item of contention over the past couple months, especially when the game first launched, and the literal and figurative foot traffic of the game was just so intense. I mean, the state of Michigan has made huge sanctions against Pokemon Go. It's one of the first states to really step up and say, there's going to be regulations for this in their state parks. So, I've had, there was a cemetery right around the corner from my house that was a huge Pokemon Go hotspot when the game first launched. It was, had a road that drove through it, and there was some really, really gorgeous, pieces of stonework in the cemetery.
I thought you were about to say some gorgeous Pokemon.
Dude,
well, there was a Beautifly. No.
Dude, those Pidgeys were awesome. No, but people would gather and the cars would drive through, and no matter what time of day you went there, this was before the gym raids or anything like that. So people were there all hours of the day, and then all of a sudden one day we show up and everything's gone. So apparently, the people that own the cemetery had reached out to Niantic and said, look, there's,
right.
People weren't vandalizing, but, they're running over graves and, not being respectful to the
Sure.
land that they were on. And from that perspective, I completely understand it. So
yeah,
there was a lot of weird stuff in the very beginning with, loitering, especially, a lot of the Pokestops were at libraries and churches and private buildings, and some of them were behind fences and things like that, where people you were chasing Pokemon down in people's backyards and things like that. So it was a slippery slope in the very beginning, but I saw it firsthand with the manipulation of stops, where companies and businesses or landowners were calling Niantic and having the Pokestops removed. I don't know if you've noticed that or saw anything like that by where you guys are, but that was big in the very beginning. The Pokestop count was very, very high,
right?
And these were existing places to do and engage with Ingress, but the volume of players with Ingress was so much lower that it didn't have the same impact, on the actual geography,
right?
When you've got people just storming in, and of course, in the beginning, there was a lot of bad apples, and people were not respecting the game, not respecting people's property, and, just using people's sides of walls as bathrooms and littering and, eating and bringing food and playing loud music out of the cars. And there was a lot of disrespect, and, it's an impossibility to avoid that. But, it's an interesting one because, people, if you're trespassing, whether you're playing a game or not, I mean, you use your brain. And if you're trespassing, you either have to be, if you're going to be a monkey, be a gorilla and just go for it, or you got to be ready. You got to be ready to pay the piper if you're going to get busted doing it. So it's
sure.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
I've had my fair share of pulling into a business in off hours and being stopped, but they're just like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "I was catching Pokemon."
I'm training here.
I'm training over here.
Do they let you? Do they say okay? Have you had any serious problems doing that? Or
no? It's just kind of like okay, just it's after 9 p.m. It's closed, so just get on your way.
We have your license plate, so
yeah. He's like, I'll let you catch your Pokemon and just leave right after. And I said okay.
Yeah. Well, Niantic did formally address this a little bit, where they were actually putting timers on specific gyms and Pokestops. So if a park closed at dusk, say so at 9 o'clock the park closes, they would actually close the Pokestop. And if you were to try to interact on the Pokestop, it would say this Pokestop is closed.
Oh wow!
And then tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. it would reactivate. So in places where they wanted to keep the Pokestop but not have people there after hours, they've actually done that. And Michigan, I think, was the first state that really did that. And, I have never seen that in my area at all, but I've seen that come up a lot in Reddit and Twitter.
Yeah, I've never experienced that.
But, dude, I'd be bummed if I went out to a gym and it's like, this gym is closed. Go home.
Right. No.
No.
But you know what? Like, that's the only way Niantic's going to be able to keep doing this at the pace that they're doing it is by accommodating the people that could legally shut them down, you know? They have to play nice. They have to...
It's got to be a tightrope.
Oh, yeah, definitely, because they want players, but they want to make sure they're not, spending all of their money that they're raking in on lawsuits and that kind of stuff. So it's tough. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer by trade or profession, just as a hobby. But
on TV.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of responsibility Niantic would have. Just because you'd give people a reason to go somewhere where they shouldn't. Are they legally responsible if that person does actually do that? It's tough. I think people have to be kind of responsible for their own selves, but Niantic wants to play nice with everybody and walk that tightrope and make sure that they're welcomed into the community. But as long as they are still listening to those business owners or state representatives or whoever it is saying, hey, can we make some adjustments here? As long as they're flexible, I think everything will continue to work out well for them. So, and people will just find another place to play. They'll move a Pokestop from deep in the middle of a park to the outside that you could get to without having to enter the park, or there's ways to adjust things to make it work for everybody. So,
yeah. Just a general respect thing.
Yep.
And that's kind of the one of the core values of Pokemon in general, the honesty, the integrity, and, the respect for your fellow trainer. So it's, if you're going to be a true Pokemon trainer, you'd have it within yourself to understand the limits of where this game should and should not take you.
Right.
Right. It's in the loading screen. It says, please be aware of your surroundings and don't trespass.
Right. As you walk off the boardwalk and fall into the ocean.
Oh, no. My friend has fallen off the sidewalk before.
Well, that's probably on your friends, but,
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining me tonight. This is a lot of fun.
Awesome. Totally awesome.
Good talking Pokemon. Where can the people find you and the show and everything else?
So you can find everything about the show. We kind of route everything through our YouTube channel, but just visit gottawatchemall.com. You can kind of see all the stuff that we do there. You can email the show at gottawatchemallpodcast@gmail.com. But gottawatchemall.com, you can find the links to all our social media. But pretty much if there's a social media channel that you're on, we're probably there. So just search. And the podcast is available on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Satchel Podcast Player is a new one we just added. So Check us out. Give us a sub, give us a follow, give us a like. And hopefully you stick around and enjoy the content.
Yeah, we appreciate coming on the show.
What about personally? Yeah. Where could they personally say hi to you guys?
Personally, you can find me at ProudGamerTweet on the Twitter.
And personally, you can find me, Adam, on the Twitter as PhoenixBack4Fire.
All the Toys for Games listeners are like, oh my god, that's Phoenix Back for Fire.
Oh my goodness, what?
They
my mind
just
has
made the
been
connection. Well, thank you guys once again. We might have to make this a more regular thing to check in with Pokemon Go updates and such. So we'll see what happens.
We could do helicopter noises in the background, like reporting from the field. Pokemon Go field report.
Yes, I definitely need active reports while you guys are playing. So that would be fun.
Awesome.
You can find me personally on Twitter at The Noise with a Y. Follow the show on Twitter at Toys for Games. You could email the show, podcast at toysforgames.com. And, everywhere else on social media and such, Toys for Games. Jason is at Jason Inquires on Twitter. And if you'd like to support us, like Devin Linchinski and everybody else, you could do so over on Patreon, patreon.com/Toys for Games. We will be back next week. Jason will return from the fair. If he doesn't, slip into a food coma before then. We'll talk some proper Toys to Life. We have Skylander news. We have some Amiibo news. We have some Lego Dimensions non-news. All that kind of fun stuff to go over. So next week, be on the lookout for a proper episode. But thank you, Ken and Adam, for joining me on this special Pokemon edition. It was a lot of fun. And until next time, happy hunting, collectors.